Pro players edit insanely fast, and while their pure skill plays a massive role, there are two hidden keyboard settings that secretly give them an edge. And these are the exact same ones used by some of the greatest Fortnite players in the world, like Mr. Savage Mongrel and peterbot. So today we are going to uncover exactly what these settings are, how they work, and why they make such a difference. Because once you understand them, you will realize that every millisecond in competitive Fortnite actually counts. These settings are known as custom actuation and rapid trigger. And if you have never heard of them before, prepare to have your mind blown, because these two features alone can literally change the way your keyboard feels, reacts, and performs custom actuation. Basically lets you decide how far a key needs to be pressed before it activates on a normal mechanical keyboard. Every key has a fixed actuation point around 2 to 3 millimeters, but on esports-grade keyboards, from brands like Wooting, SteelSeries, and Razer, you can completely customize this inside the software, and some pros set it as low as 0.1 millimeters, meaning you barely even have to touch the key before it registers an input. Imagine building, editing, and confirming so fast that it feels like your keyboard reads your mind. That is what players like Mongrel and Mr. Savage are using right now. The lower the actuation point, the faster your edits and builds will feel, but it also makes the keyboard insanely sensitive, so sensitive that you could literally trigger a key just by resting your finger on it, which is why it takes 1 to 3 weeks to fully get used to when you first switch to it. Most pros only set their edit key or a few specific keys to ultra-low actuation. At first, to adapt gradually, peterbot, who is currently considered one of the greatest players in the world, uses 0.2, and then you have other pros like CAU on 0.4, and they all say the same thing. It completely changes how responsive your game feels. It is pure precision at your fingertips. I personally think this feature is like a cheat code for your mechanical keyboard, because normal keyboards off Amazon can't do this at all. They're locked to a static depth, and that's why these esports keyboards cost more, because they literally give you customization at the hardware level, and the second setting, rapid trigger, is what truly makes pro players look like machines. This lets a key reset the moment you lift your finger, instead of needing to release it all the way, like a normal keyboard would. Normally, you have to lift a key fully for it to reset, but with rapid trigger, it resets instantly, allowing you to spam keys at superhuman speed. So when a player like Mr. Savage or Mongrel is editing and building rapidly, they can re-input their edit key faster than most players can even blink. The cool part is, you can choose which keys you want this on, so a lot of players only enable it for specific keys, like edit, reset, or confirm, because it makes those motions feel buttery smooth now. In other games, like Valorant, rapid trigger helps with strafing and direction changes, but in Fortnite, it's mainly best for editing, because on movement keys, it can sometimes mess with your momentum. That's why peterbot and similar pros use it on their edit key. Only, it's crazy though, because when you combine custom actuation with rapid trigger, you get a setup that reacts faster than any normal keyboard on the planet, and that is the reason top-level pros rely on it. It is like the equivalent of using the best monitor with the highest refresh rate, because every little detail matters when money, fame, and reputation are on the line at grand finals. If you are thinking of trying these settings yourself, you need an esports-level keyboard from one of the brands I mentioned earlier. Wooting, SteelSeries, Razer, and a few others also make models that support it, and they come with their own companion software that lets you adjust the actuation depth per key setup, rapid trigger sensitivity, and even assign separate press and release thresholds, which can make everything feel more natural and balanced. Even though it sounds complicated, it's actually very easy to experiment with and find what feels right for you. Some pros say it's personal preference, but you can't deny how much faster a lower actuation point feels. When every press translates instantly into movement and action, there's a reason why Mr. Savage, Mongrel, and peterbot can all pull off these incredibly smooth edit chains. They have tuned their hardware to match their reflexes perfectly, and it makes them look like editing robots. Another cool thing about these keyboards is the lighting and feedback options. Some pros set lighting indicators for active rapid trigger keys, so they know which ones are engaged in real time. It's those little tweaks that make a big difference, especially in a competitive environment where milliseconds decide who wins and who loses. The real reason pros are forced to use these kinds of keyboards is because at the highest level the game becomes less about raw skill and more about optimization, when every other pro is already aiming perfectly, building perfectly, and editing perfectly. The only way to get ahead is by using better tools that cut delay and boost responsiveness by even a fraction of a second. That fraction can be the difference between qualifying or missing out on the finals, and that's why brands like Wooting SteelSeries and Razer have become dominant in the competitive scene, because they build keyboards that allow for total control over actuation and input behavior. And that's something standard boards just can't replicate. So if you ever wondered why pros seem to react faster than you, even though you know the same combos, this is why their keyboard is literally doing part of the work for them in a way that still requires skill, but amplifies it. It's like giving a race car driver a faster, more responsive steering system. The talent is still theirs, but the hardware helps them reach their full potential. Now, if you are curious about what to actually set your own actuation to, the general rule from most pros is to start around 0.5 to 1.0 on your edit key, then slowly lower it each week until you find that sweet spot where it feels comfortable but reactive. The lower you go, the faster it feels, but remember it also becomes more sensitive, so take your time with it and don't jump straight to 0.1 unless you are prepared for your keyboard to feel like it's alive. There are also some players who don't use rapid trigger at all, like Cold, who's a pro, known for his precise playstyle. He sticks with traditional actuation because he prefers consistency over sensitivity. So again, it all comes down to preference, but the feature exists for a reason, and once you try it, you'll instantly feel the difference in speed, responsiveness, and control. To sum everything up, custom actuation and rapid trigger are not gimmicks. They are real technological advancements that make keyboards feel smoother, faster, and more connected to your gameplay. And that's why they are taking over the Fortnite and Valorant scenes right now. So if you are someone who wants to get faster at editing and building, this is where you should start. Find a keyboard that supports it. Experiment with the settings and push your limits like the pros do. And before you go, make sure you take a second to appreciate just how far keyboard technology has come from regular mechanical switches to fully customizable magnetic ones. We are witnessing a revolution in how we play, and it's only going to get better from here. And that is why Mr. Savage Mongrel and Peterbot continue to stay ahead of the game, not only because of skill, but because they use every tool available to reach absolute perfection. If you enjoyed learning about their secrets, make sure to check out more videos on pro setup settings and hidden advantages, because trust me, there are way more out there that will blow your mind.